Orcs Must Die tree, the trinkets. Are they good? Are they useful? Well, I'm gonna explain it in this video. I'm gonna show you each trinket and tell you if I think they're good or not and if you should use them or not. In Orcs Must Die tree, you have 7 different type of trinkets that you can get or buy in the game. And trinkets are really tricky because you don't know if you should equip them or not, because each time you equip them, well, you take the place from a different trap or a different weapon that you could use. So it limits you a little bit. So are they worth it and are they good? Should you use trinkets? Let's go see one by one what they do, and then I will tell you which one I'm using and which one I think are the best in the game right now. Trinket number 1 is the empty rift. So equipping it will give you more rift points or protect your rift. This one is kind of a little bit special. I didn't use it a lot. I don't have the upgrades on it. The only way I think that it's really interesting is that if you want to have your 5 skull, but there's a specific dungeon, well, there's always someone that is passing by.
Man, these little dudes are so fast.
Those are kobolds. They'll also set off our traps.
Well, use it and go into the special upgrade. First enemy in the rift is worth 0 rift point. So that could save your perfect game if you're having trouble doing this. Of course, protecting your rift is good, but it's not an offensive, it's more a defensive thing. I don't know. I'm not sold on this one. I would making somewhere around B. The second one is the Freedom Trinket. This one is, when it is equipped, give you stun immunity and a little bit helps you break out of crowd control. The thing is on that one, even with the boost you can have, I didn't use it at all because unless you're using a melee weapon, which I don't recommend you do, you won't get hit and you won't get stunned. I mean, that trinket would be useful only if you really use end-to-end combat. Then I think it could be good. But if you're not, so on a tier scale, it would be something like a D or even an E for me. Again, with trinket number 3, the healing trinket, it depends on how you play. I mean, if you play more end-to-end combat, you go with melee weapons and you die a lot, well, increasing your health regeneration could be good, and even increasing your max health. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but honestly, my biggest problem right now in the game when I go into harder dungeon or harder level of difficulty, it's not necessarily dying as killing and controlling the orcs or the other creatures. For me, I mean, it's a good one, but it's so circumstantial. I mean, it's the same thing as the other one, but maybe I could give it a D because the health regeneration will help you out if you don't have to go back to your spire to get health. If you get shot by archers or things like that. So yeah, it's a little bit better than the other one, but yeah, maybe a C, a D, it depends. The Jar of Ghost. That one, I mean, just the name is so cool, but what it will do is will scare people away. This could be really useful if you have a huge swarm in one of the dungeon and you want to push them back to get more time for you to kill them or your traps to kill them. I mean, the Jar of Ghost could be useful. I've been using it a little bit, and I mean, yeah. But if that is your major problem, I think it could be solved by a weapon, the belt weapon, that, I mean, could just push people away. It's not a bad one. It really depends on how you play, but if you need to really get more time to shoot people, the Jar of Ghost, yeah, well, could be useful. I would give it C, or if you play really far from the distance and there's big enemy, maybe a B, but for me in a tier list, it would still be a C. Trinket number 5. Number 5 is the Mana Rage Trinket. This one I use all the time, and although it doesn't seem like I'm using it a lot, it just says that I use it once. The thing is that it increase your mana capacity, so it will give you 1 more special attack or 2 more special attack depending on the weapon you're using. The fast mana regeneration, I didn't use it that much because I don't think about it. I mean, this one is pretty useful. Whatever character you're using, you will always use mana at some point. So having something that will give you extra mana and will help you regenerate it faster, and the first spell after costs 0 mana, the special upgrade on this one, well, pretty cool, pretty good. So this one is at least an A, and if there would be an S trinket, it would probably be this one because it's always used, always. The Ring of Storm, I mean, oh, it's hard. I have a love-hate relationship with the Ring of Storm. I really like the fact that your riff can do electric damage and kill some little creatures that could get past you. That's kind of a good thing, but it doesn't do that much damage. Of course, you can decrease the time it takes between all the strikes. You can choose to increase the distance, the range of the lightning. So the passive is interesting. So far, it didn't do that much for me. I used it a little bit, killed 24 creatures, I mean, casting the lightning cloud is pretty effective to control an area. It will do a decent amount of damage, but costs a lot of mana. So I don't know, maybe combined with the mana one, the mana trinket that I just talked about, when you can have the next one for 0. So you take this, and after that you use the storm and you increase the activity of the storm. Maybe it could be better. The judges are still out on this one. Let's put it in the B tier. I mean, I think it could be really good, but could it replace a good trap? I don't know. And the last one is the Trap Reset Trinket. That one is interesting. I didn't use it that much. I mean, on paper, it's pretty interesting. I mean, the idea that equipping it will reset your trap faster passively. I mean, that is interesting. That is really interesting. But unless you have this over here, the trap passively reset faster, not that useful. The problem is that yes, it will reset all your traps so you can do more damage really fast, but the cooldown is incredibly long. I mean, it takes days. Using it, I don't know, with the reduced cooldown I will have to try it, but I'm really divided on this one. I have to try it more. I think it could be good. Should it replace a good trap? Try it, see if it makes a big difference for you damage-wise, and if it does, well, equip it. But again, not sure. So I would put it in the C category. So those are all the 7 trinkets. I explained them a little bit, gave you what I thought, give them a kind of a quote, you know, saying if I could do a tier list, where there would be. For me, from the beginning of the game, as soon as you get the Mana Ray trinket, I think you should use it. I think you should install it, and it will help you a lot. I mean, doing more damage, using more your special more often. I mean, that is always a bonus. For the rest of them, it's up to you, depend on your style of play. A lot of them are circumstantial. So, hey, I hope you enjoyed that. If you loved this video and it was really helpful to you, well, I suggest you go see those 2 videos right up next, because they're gonna help you out even further.